Well, hello everyone. I have a very special announcement today. My good friend and fellow teacher, Jason Levine, aka the Fluency MC, and we are partnering together to create a really special lesson and a free guide for learners out there. And so I'm going to be answering a few questions from him in a video right now. So we will have a little bit of a quick interview to explain what's happening in the future. So listen carefully. And if you want to become a much better speaker, and for you teachers out there that watch this, if you want to help your students, to help them become better speakers by finding more people to practice with, especially native speakers, I want to teach you the right way to do that, the fast way and the same way that I learned how to do it, using the same strategies I use to get fluent in Japanese. So let's get started.
Hey Drew, welcome. First question, tell us about English Anyone.
And hello and welcome to you, Jace. Thank you so much for deciding to do this with me. I know this is a new project and it's something, it's going to be something very big. I'm really excited about it. It will be a free guide in addition to a lesson on WizIQ after we learn more from students. So I'm really excited to do that. But very quickly about English Anyone, one of the things I do as a teacher, because there is so much information about learning verbs or adjectives or nouns or all kinds of things about the English language that you can study, the thing that I do for English Anyone, it's more of the first things you learn and the last things you learn. And the first things are how you think. The psychology of learners is probably the most important thing that will help people get fluent. So I talk a lot with students about how to think and how to learn. So all of the speed learning tactics I know for getting fluent faster in languages, the exact same things I use for getting fluent in Japanese. And then the kind of last things you learn are, once you understand the language, how do you actually get out with native speakers in practice? So my program, Master English Conversation, it takes you through step by step so that you learn all of the grammar and phrases and cultural things that you need to learn about the language. And then the best part about the program is that it teaches you actually how to get out and meet native speakers to practice with each and every month. So these are the kinds of things that I want to do right now and release more of with this free guide and lesson that we're going to do with WizIQ together.
What do you think most helps people improve their fluency in a language?
The most important thing people can do is to focus on how they think. Again, this is what I do, what I specialize in for helping people build speaking confidence at EnglishAnyone.com. But the most important thing, especially if you are a learner out there listening to this, all of the ideas that you have about, oh, I can't do this, or I don't know where to meet native speakers, all of these other ideas are what stop you from getting fluent. It's not the textbook you're using, it's not your teacher, everything is about you. So if you, one, take responsibility for your learning, and then two, begin thinking in the right way, and this means having more of a can and how attitude than beginning with, oh, I can't do that. So that's probably the most important thing. There are lots of little pieces to fluency, but for me as a teacher, the thing that I see the most change and the most improvement with students is when they begin changing the way they think.
You make a lot of excellent videos. I'm wondering, what do you enjoy most about making them?
What do I enjoy most about making the videos? Well, I think the really nice thing now with technology is that we can show how something works instead of using a translation to help people learn. One of the serious difficulties, the main complaints that I get from learners when I receive questions and comments and emails is that they have to learn and then by thinking and translating in their head before they speak. So this is really, really frustrating for a lot of people. It's a serious problem that I solve with Master English Conversation. But basically the problem with traditional methods, most traditional methods anyway, is that you learn something in your own language. So you learn the definition of a word or the explanation for a grammar point, and then you put that translation or that definition between you and the language. So you're taking a step back from something, and usually I try to explain it best by talking about how children learn. So there is the child here and then the word over here, and so the child learns the word by matching it with the meaning of that thing. But what most people that are learning a language do, they have kind of a second step in between, so they can't learn the language directly. They have to learn the translation first, and then from the translation they move to the definition of the word in English. So what people should be doing is learning words directly, and the power of video really allows you to do that. So that's why I really enjoy making video lessons. So probably the most important thing is that they allow people to make a direct connection with the language. I don't have to hold up like a flashcard or something like that. I can actually show how something works in the language, and it's a lot more obvious for students to learn directly. But the probably most enjoyable part about making the videos is getting all of the letters from students that say, "I remembered this, I haven't forgotten what you taught me, and I've actually been able to go out and use it." So that's my favorite part of making videos.
Drew, we're really excited to welcome you onto WizIQ, and we're curious, what do you have in mind? What are your plans for teaching on the platform?
So what are my plans for teaching on WizIQ? Now, one of the things I get, I really like to listen to learners. I ask them lots of questions. I'm kind of a pesky teacher that way, because I really want to get to the root of why people are having problems learning. I have my own problems learning, and I went through my own experience when I was learning Japanese, starting with the traditional way and then completely changing the way I learn. It's a story I tell at EnglishAnyone.com for Master English Conversation if people are interested in learning about that. But basically, going from the typical way of learning, you have a lot of problems, and it's kind of one way of learning that creates a lot of separate problems. And one of those problems is how to meet people to practice with, especially native speakers. So people have a lot of psychological hang-ups or problems about this. So like one of those is, I'm scared about making mistakes. I'm worried that other people are going to judge me, that kind of thing. And people are also really kind of unfamiliar with actually how to get out and meet native speakers. Practicing your speaking is one of the most important things you can do as a learner in order to improve your language, and that's why I really try to help students with Master English Conversation and through EnglishAnyone.com to teach them the proper way, the fast way to really go out and meet native speakers. So for this WizIQ lesson and the free guide that I'll be releasing very soon about how to meet native speakers, and even just anyone you want to practice with, is changing the way you think and then using new tactics to get out and meet native speakers. So I'm really excited about doing this, and I'll explain a little bit more how you can help with that in a little bit later in this video. But the thing that I'm really excited to do is help you out there, all of the learners out there, find real people that are excited to practice with them. So not people that you say, oh, well, let's meet on Skype and we'll try to find people in language learning forums and all of these other places that just really aren't so successful for many people. So I'll be teaching all of those things, and I'm really excited to do that with Jason and WizIQ.
What advice do you have for people learning English who are struggling to stay motivated?
What advice do I have for people that are struggling to stay motivated with language learning? I usually talk to students about having some kind of reason for studying the language. I'll give a kind of different example from my childhood when I was learning how to read. Now, if you just tell a child to learn to read and they don't like learning to read, it's going to be really, really difficult, just like it was for me. My mom would try to give me books and give me lots of different things, but I just wasn't interested in the material, so I didn't really enjoy reading very much. And then for many, many years as I was young, I was a bad reader. So I'm a much better reader now that I enjoy it, but learning the language itself or learning how to read or any skill like that, it's a much better idea if you have something that you're trying to arrive at by using that skill. So let's say you want to teach your child how to ride a bike. If you just focus on the bike riding itself, and the student or the child doesn't really enjoy riding a bicycle, it's going to be really difficult for them to learn how to do that because they will fall, they will get frustrated. But if you tell them that if they learn how to ride the bike, they can ride over here to get to this like movie or TV show that they want to watch or something like that, then you've created a bridge that helps you get to the actual goal here. So for learning English, or whatever the case may be, especially for learning English for English learners, don't worry about the language itself. Think about what you can get with the language. And that's why when I was learning to get fluent in Japanese, I didn't really want to just learn the Japanese language. It's not really something you can sit and learn, and it's not very fun. So I learned Japanese through studying Japanese gardening. And from that, it branched out into many different things. So now I can talk about more than just rocks and trees and things like that. I can have interesting conversations about many different things. But it began, I call it like a fluency wedge. It's basically your way to get into the language and something that pulls you to the language. So if you are a learner and you're kind of losing motivation, or you're a teacher and you're trying to help students feel more motivated about studying, I highly recommend you get students to think about what the actual goal is, because the goal isn't really the language. The goal is to travel somewhere, or to get a job, or to do something like that. And once you think about this goal over here, it helps you focus and brings you to that goal much more easily.
And for my last question, how do you envision the future of learning online?
All right, so about what the future of online learning holds for learners. I think the future of online learning, more than anything else, is about helping people connect. And it's just more about helping people connect in the right way, which is exactly what I want to do with this lesson. There are lots of services out there that help people learn online, but many of them don't actually help you become a great speaker. So I was just, actually a friend of mine sent me a link today for a website that was teaching you can learn a language by translating from one language into another. And that's a good way to learn how to translate languages, or become a language translator, I suppose, but none of those skills are going to help you become an actual great speaker, because really you need to get out and meet people in the right way. So I think one of the most important things about learning for the future is the way people actually connect. So we have the foundation of that now. We've got the internet and videos and chat, that kind of thing. The only problem is that people just don't really know how to use those channels in the right way to find people actually to practice with. So language learning forums, they might be helpful for some people, but it's really not what I recommend for my students. So I'll tell you a lot more about that in the actual lesson that we create, as well as the free guide. All right, so you can see now that we are creating a fantastic free guide with lots of information to help you find more native speakers, as well for teachers to give advice to their students, and we'll also be creating a lesson from that. But Jason and I don't want to just sit here and do this by ourselves, even though we've got lots of experience. We need help. We need to hear from you out there. So what I've done is created a very, very simple, it will take you maybe 2 minutes if you want to help improve your English and improve the English of everybody else around the world. I have 3 simple questions that I need you to answer. So you can click, I will put a link right here. You can click on this and then it will take you to the survey where you can just answer these 3 simple questions about how you learn and the struggles that you have figuring out how to meet native speakers or anybody that you want to practice with. So if you answer these 3 questions, I will send you instantly a free audio lesson that I created just for Master English Conversation members who were helping me out to improve the program. And I heard from one particular Master English Conversation member that the information was too good to keep private. So I don't want to just give it away to everybody because it's such important information. I really want students that are excited to improve their English and ready and motivated to do that. So if you are that learner, you really want to find lots of English-speaking friends and language partners to practice with the right way, no matter where you live in the world, click on this link right here. It will take you to the 3 questions. You can answer them, and immediately you will get access to the free audio lesson that I'm giving just for you. So once we create this, once I get all of these answers, and I'm going over them right now, we're already getting hundreds of answers. I'm really excited to see what students have to say. We're learning so much about that, so we can make a really phenomenal program for students, both the free guide and the lesson for WizIQ later. It will be happening very soon, probably next month. Now, what we're basically doing is after I get this information, I'm looking over everything, and then I will email everyone on my Power Learning list. And so this is my my free membership at EnglishAnyone.com, where I give lots of private information, lots of great tips for learning. So after you fill out the 3 questions, if you're not already a Master English Conversation member, please subscribe so that you can get the free report when we finish it. After I review the questions, I will email people telling them what I learned. So you're interested in learning this and you don't want to do that, and these are all the things, and I will ask everybody if that's correct. And if it's what people want, then we will make the free report. After the free report comes out, we will get more feedback from learners, some things that were really helpful and other things that they want to learn more about, and then we will use that information to produce the final lesson for WizIQ that will be live with Jason and myself, and we will be talking all about how to meet native speakers and the right ways to practice. So if you are excited about this, again, click on the link right here where you can it's a completely anonymous form. You don't have to tell me anything about who you are, your personal information. It's just answering 3 questions about how we can help you learn better, and that's it. So it's all free, everything is free, no strings attached. It's just really learning more about students and how we can help them improve, because we've been through the same thing, and I remember when I was struggling to learn Japanese, and I wish I had this information about how to meet native speakers. Anyway, I look forward to hearing from you. If you're not already a fan of Jason and you don't even know who he is, but he's all over the place, I hope you do. You can click, I will put a link right up here so you can go to his channel and check him out. He's fantastic. But I look forward to learning more about you by answering the 3 questions and to giving you this fantastic audio lesson, the free report, and welcoming you to the free live lesson that we do next month. Have a fantastic day, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.